I'm just saying Grey Snarl is better than Machamp. Stop lying, man. You don't know. Machamp is better. Grey Snarl, Machamp. Grey Snarl, Machamp. Father. Yeah, see, I know you can't admit it. Father, look behind you. Huh? Is he dead? What do you think, man? Child of mine, you have died, but fear not, as I, your Lord and Savior Arceus, will bring you to the gates of heaven, as I am the first and the creator of all Pokemon. Yeah, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Mew's the first. Wait, what? Mew's not the first, it's clearly me. I'm literally God. Yeah, but like, Mew is like the mother of all Pokemon. Isn't like Mew the first? Mew doesn't even degrade the legendary. I created it. What are you talking about? Yeah, but like, Mew has all DNA. I created Mew. Then who created you? So you don't believe me? Fine. I guess I'll have to show you the truth then. What do you mean? Judgment. What was that? I think I know the answer. Mew's not the first. So why do I say our lovable, cute little pink guy is not the first Pokemon? Well, I have evidence to prove it, and as you clearly saw what Arceus did to me, whatever that was, still showed me the truth. And I'm here to show you all that this is just a trick from Game Freak to let us believe that Mew's the first. Well, the thing is that I have to first answer is, why do people first think of Mew's the first Pokemon? Well, there's many examples of why. This is because of the Pokédex entries talking about that Mew is a very ancient Pokemon, and also Mew shares all DNA of every Pokemon. And as we know, Mew is able to transform into any Pokemon it wants. It's one of the only two Pokemon to do it. If the other one being Ditto, that likely increases the theory that Ditto is just a failed clone of Mewtwo, that I actually do believe because it has lots of valid points. So yeah, it's likely why Mew is able to transform, because it shares all DNA. But I don't think that's the real answer. I have lots of points. First of all, we have to first know of how the past was. Well, we don't know how the real past was for the Pokemon world, as the only furthest game into the past is Legends Arceus. So for prehistoric times, we have to take from the real world and how it works. And to also answer, first of all, how does evolution work? In case you don't know what evolution is, it's essentially the drastic change of a creature over a certain period of time. Kind of how birds used to be dinosaurs, and you know, how they used to be. So that's just evolution. Pokemon's evolution is very different from this, as it's more like this growing up, but real evolution is more like the thing evolving, usually to be able to survive its certain habitat. And the thing is about Mew, he doesn't look like he really does that. Like, what environment would need a tiny squishy guy to survive? And usually back then in the past, there used to be lots of oxygen. That's why you usually see lots of bigger dinosaurs. And why now they're more smaller is we have less oxygen in the air. And that's why creatures are more smaller. And if if Mew is really old as you think, Mew would have to have a body of survival. Most people just say it's like, oh, Mew used to be everywhere, and that's why, so it is slowly evolved. But that physically won't be possible, as usual creatures in the past usually start from little tiny cells, and Mew isn't really like that tiny. In fact, it's not even a cell. You could say Solosis is more of a cell than this guy. It's just a weird cat thing. Wait a minute, is Mew a mammal? If Mew is a mammal, that won't make sense, as in real life mammals didn't exist in prehistoric times. We only came a bit later into, we only started existing for 250 million years, which I grant is still a lot of years. and presumably of how old Mew is. But that isn't really that old, as we have a Pokemon who's even way older, 50 million years older in fact. Kabuto. Kabuto lived over 300 million years, and if Mew is a mammal, he'll only come around 250 million years, that which would make Kabuto older than Mew. Well, I think there's a reason why also Mew is able to transform and why it shares lots of DNA with many Pokemon. I believe that Mew is one of the first Pokemon, but not the first Pokemon, but the first mammal Pokemon. Because the thing is about Mew, it's kind of similar to another Gen 1 Pokemon, Eevee. As you know, Eevee has a very unstable DNA. It literally can evolve by simply touching a stone, even with the power of friendship causes this guy to evolve. Which I think is quite similar to our little good friend Mew. I think Mew has a very unstable DNA, even in its name, Mew. As most people, you mostly thought out as like a baby cat name, and it's actually not. It actually comes from the word mutation. And if Mew name does come from mutation, is Mew not just a mutation then? It's maybe that Mew just has similar DNA to Eevee that's so unstable, but unlike Eevee, it literally physically transforms into another creature entirely. So I believe that Mew is the first mammal Pokemon that later evolved some later Pokemon later like more fish mammal Pokemon there, but I don't think Mew is the first Pokemon. But tell me, what do you think about this? I've been Thunder 13th, and I'm out.